Well, that sucked, didn't it? That really sucked. All of that sucked. The result sucked. The performance kind of sucked. The gentleman, the Rotherham chairman, he sucked. The news about Christian Bielik, that sucked. Rams TV. Yeah, the stream dropping, that sucked. Although, having to not watch that, maybe that was the least sucky part of all of that. Man, it's difficult. It's difficult to unpack a lot of that. Let's start with what Rotherham did to combat Derby, because they've done this in 2 games now. The game at Pride Park as well. It's nothing particularly fancy. They essentially go man to man, and they just do it really high up the pitch, and they force Derby to try and play out very quickly. Now, if you can break that press, it's pretty easy. You have to have players that are confident with 1 and 2 touch passing, and you need movement in the midfield to drag markers around, and then you have to pop it about. When players are taking 2, 3, 4, 5 touches and Rotherham are allowed to just close them down, it just becomes so easy. And that's what happened pretty much all game. Well, for all of the game that we were able to see. But that's pretty much what happened all of the time. Rotherham just went man for man, high up the pitch. Derby tried to play out, they couldn't. And then has resulted to kind of scrambling, losing the ball, kicking it long, just doing whatever they could. There was nothing in midfield. Shinnie and Max Bird never got a foothold in the game at all. They were completely outplayed in that area of the park. Now, on the ball, I don't think Bielik would have actually added that much, because in a piece that I dropped a couple of weeks ago, teams the more compact learn to combat him quickly. They put him in what I remember Mourinho termed as a jail. So basically you have 2, 3 guys zone around a zone in him, and you just pack his space out and he can't play out. And compact teams did that to Christian a lot. So I understand the take that Bielik, we struggled without Bielik, but I think on the ball, Derby generally struggled with him in the team against compact opposition anyway. Off the ball is where they missed Bielik most, because he has such range to get across the block really, really quickly. He has such range. He is also someone that is confident at playing the ball out from the back, and probably could have done it a little bit quicker. But again, if he's in the jail, difficult. But off the ball, aerially, they missed him a lot. Those set pieces that Rotherham got in were brilliant. That kind of sucks, because they were really, really good at getting those set pieces in. They were good deliveries. Bielik's defensive work, the screening game, the way he's robust in challenges, the way he reads where the passes are going, really smart, switched on footballer that can, cut out passing lanes before they even appear. That's where Derby missed him most, in my opinion. So, yeah, Rooney called this before we move on, Rooney confirmed that Christian Bielik has torn his ACL. Again, it's in his right knee, which was the other one. That absolutely sucks. That's 8-9 month recovery for him, call it 10 months by the time he gets back up to full speed. So that's him out until the 2021-22 season. That sucks. All the positive vibes in the world to Christian Bielik. He seems like a thoroughly nice human being. I actually see him buy Magnum ice creams from the top of the street sometimes. Wonderful, seems like a really good dude. Has been playing some wonderful football recently. Absolutely sucks that has happened to him again. So all the positive vibes, all the feelings, throw them through the screen and give them to Christian Bielik. And let's just hope he comes back, better than ever, brand new. It is going to be a long road to recovery. You can recover with today's sort of, modern medicine. You can recover from 2 ACLs. So let's just hope that he gets where he needs to be in the right time frame. Rooney called this game beforehand a defining moment for Derby's season, because had they won it, they'd have gone 8 points clear of the relegation zone and have been looking up and maybe pushing on to get in mid-table. Had they lost it, they now get dragged back into that pack, and I think it's only 2 points is the difference now. And obviously Rotherham are the team occupying that final spot. So yeah, they're kind of back where they started before they put together these 3 1-0 wins on the bounce. Mad. They just can't seem to pull themselves away from that trap door, which is worrying. I get why it's worrying. I do think they'll have enough, though. I think the signings they've made add a lot more depth, a lot more experience, a lot more quality. That's not doubting the quality of the young kids, but in terms of first team quality, these guys that, Patrick Roberts, Lee Gregory, Mengi, all right, he's different, not made his Man United debut yet, but they think he can be special. So yeah, there's a lot more depth, a lot more quality, a lot more experience. I think they'll be fine, but it is concerning that they're now back in this relegation dogfight. Big game against Barnsley at the weekend now. It's a quick turnaround. They have to put that game in the bin. This was, and Owen Bradley mentioned it, I think, on commentary or in the studio afterwards. This was pretty uncharacteristic from Derby under Rooney. This was the first time they'd conceded 3 goals since his last game against Middlesbrough. So yeah, you hope that this was an outlier. They've been defensively, like the defensive shape under him so far has been really, really strong, and it just went to pot tonight. The first goal that Rotherham scored the free kick has no whip on it. It's just like a crossfield ball. It's just like a diagonal that's being hit. They showed that earlier in the first half. They showed that they had the potential to put that diagonal in because I think they got a corner from it in the first half, actually. They had to be wiser to that. They had to be wiser that the ball wouldn't just be whipped in. There was potential to just arrow it to the back stick. And I think it might be wisdom that switches off there. But either way, it's shocking defending across the board. Not adjusting, making that adjustment in game and knowing that ball is potentially on, again, is pretty poor. The second goal, I'm not sure if it's Shinnie or if Shinnie has passed Giles off onto Wisdom, as someone on Twitter pointed out. If it is, then my bad for calling Shinnie out. If it's not, then Shinnie has to be breaking his neck to try and get back there. Having looked at it back on the replay there, I think Shinnie has passed him off because he kind of looks like he's jogging back rather than how Graham Shinnie is. He just full throttle sprint back all the time. But either way, that is a communication issue. So it's everyone's fault because that is a communication issue. You have to patch your man off effectively, and there's no one closing the cross down. Shinnie gets there late, and yeah, it's a really simple goal. And then the third goal, oh my god, I'm going mad. Derby couldn't defend. In fact, it wasn't even defending throw-ins. So in the 3rd minute, they had a throw-in, and it took forever for them to get the ball in play. Lee Buchanan is waiting. There's a little bit of movement in front of him, but he doesn't feel confident throwing that ball in. The ref then gives him a warning. He then eventually does throw the ball in, and then Derby lose it, and Reading are on the counter-attack. That was in the 3rd minute. That happened all game. Just all game. Just what? And then the 3rd goal, so fittingly, comes from a Derby throw-in. Nathan Byrne, I think, slips. I think he's expecting contact and goes down. If so, naughty boy, Nathan. But he slips, and then Giles picks up the ball, and he just runs. He pushes it a little bit wide, and then he fires in the space that Byrne had vacated from a Derby throw-in. I find it weird that they're so bad at this because I remember after Rooney's first game, he mentioned that one of the things that he noticed when he first turned up was Derby was so poor at defending throw-ins. And he moved to try and correct that when obviously Koku was here and his coaching staff, and they got better at that. So it's weird now that they almost can't get out from throw-ins from their own throw. Very, very bizarre. So yeah, that needs fixing. Let's get to your questions. Or your comments and questions. Paul from the Millers Chairman. Yeah, I've had a few in here. Yeah, mate, that was annoying. If that was a fan, that would be annoying every 18 seconds. But that's the chairman. Come on, man. And don't get it twisted. That is not the reason that Derby lost 3-0. They lost 3-0 because they sucked. But I mean, that's not going to help. That's not good. And yeah, I think Rooney's entitled to be pretty mad about that. Now, Rotherham people will say, well, it's our chairman, he's our stadium, who can do what he wants in our stadium. All right, fair enough. But still, yeah, I didn't really like it. And the come on Rotherham counter stopped at 21. And I was only counting in the second half, and I can only watch 23 minutes of the second half. So that's an absurd number. Start Gregory next game seems very effective. Yeah, maybe. I think Rooney has talked a lot about players needing to be up to fitness in terms of the intensity that he wants them to run at. I would worry. Gregory hasn't played since November. And obviously, he'll only have, three training sessions until Barnsley now. So maybe it's a bit too early to give him a start. But, I mean, you can maybe give him more minutes. Or if you want, start him and just give him an hour and see how he gets on, and then bring Kazim Richards on once the defence is nice and softened up or something like that. But yeah, I think you've got to consider something after a performance like that. So yeah, maybe. Waghorn offered me very little again. Do you know what the weird thing is Waghorn actually started the game pretty well, to be fair. The first 15-20, he was pretty good. He had two really cute flicks around the corner, one that Knight got to and one that Byrne got to. And on both occasions, a cross comes in and it's low, and Kazim Richards is waiting for a tap-in. And then he has the overhead kick from a Kazim Richards flick, which is very, very awkward. He has to get very high up in the air to try and bring that back down. But yeah, after that, from what I could see, I thought he struggled. Can't comment too much about what happened in the second half, but yeah, I thought he struggled. But early on, he was pretty effective. He did pretty good. Wisdom was, for his recent form, was uncharacteristic in terms of the lapses in concentration. Now, he has been known to have those kind of lapses. Remember with was it the Nottingham Forest game, the game in October that Derby drew 1-1, and he just falls asleep and lets Lyle Taylor put it in, right in front of him. Little bits like that. The Blackburn game, I mean, he was one of 11 players that were awful that day. But recently he's been absolutely excellent. So yeah, maybe you hope that's just an uncharacteristic slip in there. Roberts actually had, once the stream came back, Roberts actually had a really good free kick routine with Byrne, where obviously he's looking to whip it in and then he just plays it down the side to Byrne and the cross comes in. Really good heads up thinking there from Roberts. Maybe he gets a start next instead of Waghorn. Edmondson not fit. No, Derby can only name 5 loan players in any match day squad. Now they had obviously their 4 on the bench plus Clark in the team. So every match day a lone player is going to miss out. Just because they've got 6. That kind of sucks. How did Knight play? From what I saw, willing as always. Final ball early on to Kazim Richards was pretty poor. And then Rotherham kind of suffocated him out of the game, and he didn't really have much to go on. Rotherham just did a really effective job of pretty much suffocating everything from Derby's midfield up. I mean, Kazim Richards couldn't bring anyone into play. Knight couldn't really get going. Waghorn wasn't being effective out there. Bird and Shinnie couldn't do anything. It was really, really good. The worrying thing was this was the same thing Rotherham did at Pride Park. It was 3-5-1-1, same system, same setup. And actually kind of looked like Derby got worse at dealing with it. That's a concern that the same tactic, the same setup has tripped them up twice. Did Ibe rejoin training with the group this week? Rooney said yesterday that Ibe at the minute is at home doing his own training. They're keeping him on a program. They're keeping him fit. They're managing him very, very well. Just in terms of until he's mentally in the right headspace to come back to the group. But they said they're giving him all the help that he needs, and they hope he's back soon. Thought Benny was a youngster. Guess he will be in the squad more. Did he play all right? To be honest, Tommy, he only got a few minutes, and that was when Derby were 2-0 down. His work was okay when he came on. It was fine, but probably wait until he gets more significant minutes in a different situation as well to give a proper assessment of him. Wouldn't really be fair to give that assessment of him after that. Roberts, Mengi, and Benny must start against Barnsley. I think Roberts could be in with a start. I think Waghorn might go back to the bench. I've mentioned this a lot, and I'll probably bang this drum all season. I really don't like Juzwiak on the left. I like him better on the right. Because when he's on the right, he can get down the outside and put crosses in. Now, the quality of those crosses, different conversation, but at least get down the line and get early balls into Kazim Richards. If he's on the left, he has to check inside, and then he's in two minds whether does he shoot, does he clip it in, and then the angles of the cross are all different. I just like him on the right. I just prefer him on the right. And if him going to the right means Roberts has to go to the left, okay, I'd probably be cool with that. maybe Roberts is fine on the right as well, and he can do the job that usually does. But yeah, I'd like to see Roberts get a start if he's fit. Again, he's played more minutes than Gregory, but he's not played a lot. I think he's played 90 minutes combined since the middle of December. So yeah. What sort of role do you think Bird's going to play? I think Bird will be asked to play the role that Bielik basically played. Bird, in that deep position, is probably Derby's best technical midfielder in those deep positions with Shinnie and even Knight, who has got underrated technical qualities, but is still working on those. This is a big chance for Bird to be someone that can fill that void, because he does have moments where he can pick the ball up and he can go forward and he can do forward passes. But I think a little bit too often, and I think because it's been a tough spell for him recently, and look, he's a young player, he's going to have those, that's fine. Patience is needed. I think sometimes his natural instinct is to go sideways, is to go backwards. I know that's frustrating, but, again, he's a young man and he's going through peaks and troughs, and being forced to play those out in real time on the pitch, it's going to suck sometimes. But he does have those moments where he can drive at the opposition, where he can pick out a forward pass. Big challenge for him now. Big challenge to see what he's made of and see if he can fill that role. What else we got? Do you think Rooney regrets the first double change and change of shape? Honestly, Chris, I need to go back and review the second half, because I was without film for like 23 minutes. So yeah, I'm sorry I can't give you a proper answer on that. Any last ones here before we wrap up? Bird good in possession, but not comfortable. He's not strong enough off it. Yeah, that's fair actually, Ridley. I think Bird could do with being a bit stronger off the ball. I think that's a fair assessment. He looks like he's a young man that could do it going in the weight room a little bit more. He's certainly got the stature to fill out and be a big dude. But yeah, and again, he's a young man. I presume he is still growing into his sort of football body, as it were, of what he will be as an adult. So yeah, he'll get there. He'll get there. Right, everybody. I am going to jump. Look, tonight sucked. Absolutely sucked. The result sucked. The performance sucked. Rams TV, yeah, that sucked. Christian Bielik, that absolutely sucked. But look, it's a bad defeat. It's the first defeat in 4 after 3 wins and 3 clean sheets. Bin it, resign it to the dustbin of history. You got to go again against Barnsley. All of you have a lovely evening. All take care of yourselves. Make sure you and yours are all doing well. Nothing but positive energy, positive vibes. If you're a key worker, if you're working during this time, thank you so much. That shit means just so much. I'm lucky. I can do this from here. Some of you have to go out there with this clown car government and risk your lives and stuff like that. So thank you so very much. Everyone take care, and I will see you Saturday. Take care, everybody. Bye.